What a week we've got ahead of us on the cobbles. Some storylines are about to hit such an emotional peak that long-time viewers might honestly need to brace themselves. We're talking heartbreak, betrayal, old wounds from decades ago being ripped open, and secrets that could shatter families. Before we get stuck in, make sure you hit subscribe to Episode Whisper so you never miss your weekly Corrie spoilers and updates. There's so much happening that you'll want to stay right up to date. Now, from Monday 6th October to Friday 10th October 2025, 4 big spoilers are going to dominate the street. We'll see Asha face a painful heartbreak, Abi stumble into betrayal, Tim's dark past finally catch up with him, and Todd hide a health scare that could change everything. But here's the thing, one of these could completely change the way we see a much-loved character, and you'll want to watch right through to hear it. 1. Asha Alahan's desperate cry for help. This is probably the most devastating storyline we've seen for Asha in years. She's always been the bright but vulnerable one, hasn't she? We've watched her battle low self-esteem, online humiliation, and pressure to live up to her dad's expectations. But now, things spiral to the point where she makes a decision that shocks everyone around her. Fans will see Asha slipping into a really dark place. She turns up at the shop, clearly drained and on edge, and before anyone knows it, she's swigging from a bottle and walking out. That in itself is worrying, but what happens next is even worse. She was later found collapsed in Victoria Gardens, completely out of it. Theo happens to be the one who finds her and raises the alarm. I don't think Dev has ever looked so broken as when he rushes to the hospital. His face says it all. The guilt, the anger, the sheer helplessness. When Sienna later reveals that drugs were involved as well as alcohol, Dev can hardly process it. On one hand, he's furious that Asha would put herself in that danger. On the other hand, he's terrified of losing her. It's the kind of conflicting emotion that parents watching at home will recognize. Being angry at the behavior, but terrified of the consequences. Physically, she's going to be all right, but mentally, that's the real question. Dev doesn't know how to reach her, and Bernie tries to calm him down, reminding him that Asha needs love and patience, not blame. But the worry doesn't stop at their family. Even the regulars in the Rovers start opening up about their own struggles after hearing what happened. I actually thought that was a lovely touch. Corrie showing that talking is better than bottling things up. This could really reshape Asha's story going forward. Will she find the help she needs, or is this only the beginning of a much longer battle? 2. Abi Webster and Carl's affair. Hanging by a thread, Ivy's affair has been bubbling away like a ticking time bomb, and now it looks like everything's finally blown apart. For weeks, she's been sneaking around with Carl, thinking she could somehow juggle the double life. But on a street like Weatherfield, secrets never stay buried for long, and the tension's been written all over her face. At Ronnie Bailey's birthday do, the cracks really started to show. You could see the way Abi and Carl couldn't quite keep their distance, and Debbie, who doesn't miss a trick, picked up on it straight away. She's never been one to mince her words, and she laid it out plain. Abi needed to end things with Carl before the whole mess came crashing down, but instead of cooling things off, Abi panicked. In a moment of pure soap chaos, she decided to warn Carl that Kevin might be suspicious. The problem? She texted the wrong man, and not just any wrong man. She sent the message straight to Kevin. That's the kind of mistake you feel in the pit of your stomach, and for Abi, it could be the nail in the coffin of her marriage. Kevin's reaction the next day told us everything we needed to know. He didn't kick off in a loud, dramatic way. It was colder, more final. He locked her out, demanded the keys back, and made it clear she was no longer welcome in his home. By the time Bernie spotted him chucking Abi's things into the street, the picture couldn't have been clearer. Years of hard-won trust gone in one swift blow. The heartbreaking thing is that Abi genuinely believed Carl offered her something different, something exciting, maybe even a way to escape the routine. But fans already know Carl's not exactly trustworthy himself. Watching Abi fall for someone who's stringing her along feels painful, especially after everything she's battled through in the past. Addiction, custody fights, rebuilding with Kevin. She's clawed her way back so many times, and yet here she is again, back at square one. It's not just about Abi and Kevin either. This could rip through the whole Webster family. Jack's bound to be caught in the crossfire, and Debbie will no doubt have more to say about her sister's choices. Corrie loves a family implosion, and this one could echo for months. It wouldn't be surprising if alliances in the street start shifting over it. And here's the kicker. Fans will be asking the same question, will Abi ever learn? She's such a complex character, full of flaws but also heart. You can't help but root for her, yet at the same time, you want to shake her and say, why risk everything for this? Whatever happens next, it's guaranteed to split opinion and spark plenty of chatter. This is classic Coronation Street. Messy, emotional, and impossible to look away from. If you're still watching and enjoying these spoilers, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. That way, you won't miss any of the drama coming up, and it really helps keep this community of Corrie fans growing. Now, let's get back into it. 3. Tim Metcalfe's past comes crashing back. This going to shock people because it touches on something really heavy from Tim's teenage years. When he recognizes a face from the past, Trisha Pinkerton, at first it seems harmless enough, just an old flame from the 80s. But as the week goes on, it becomes clear there's a darker side to what happened between them. It also lands at the worst time, because it's Tim and Sally's anniversary. Instead of celebrating, Sally ends up furious when she finds Trisha at the cab office with her husband. She's fuming, and who could blame her? But what comes next is the real bombshell. Tim admits that when they first got together, he was only 14 and Trisha was nearly 20. Brian's the one who actually calls it out for what it is, grooming. You can see the shame and confusion all over Tim's face. He doesn't want to hear it, but deep down he knows Brian is right. Sally is horrified too, not just at the age gap, but at the fact that's carried this around for so long without dealing with it. This could completely change how fans see Tim. He's always been the cheeky, slightly bumbling one, but now we're seeing layers of trauma that explain why he sometimes struggles to communicate or connect. It's brave storytelling from Corrie, and it could lead to some powerful scenes if they handle it right. Tim has to face the truth about what happened to him. The question is whether Sally will stand by him as he works through it, or if this will cause yet another crack in their marriage. 4. Todd Grimshaw is hiding a serious health scare. The final spoiler is all about Todd, and honestly, I think this could be one of the most important plots for his character in years. He's been dealing with Theo's controlling behavior for a while now, and you can tell it's exhausting him. But on top of that, Todd quietly books a hospital appointment to get checked for possible bowel cancer. Instead of confiding in Theo, he turns to Billy. That in itself says a lot. Billy still means something to him, even if they're not together. The fact that Todd wants Billy by his side for something so serious shows where his trust really lies. At the same time, Theo's behavior gets worse. He's already insecure and jealous, and when he spots Todd and Billy together, his temper flares. He hates the idea of Todd having a life or support system outside of him. And that, sadly, is how controlling relationships work. Isolating someone so they feel they can't cope without you. What strikes me is how alone Todd must feel. He's scared about his health, scared of Theo's reaction, and scared of what the future holds. The dinner with George and Christina only adds fuel to Theo's paranoia. Viewers might remember how Todd has always had this tough exterior, but here we're seeing him genuinely vulnerable. If the test results come back with bad news, it could be the wake-up call he needs to finally break free from Theo. But if Theo tightens his grip even more, Todd could find himself trapped in the worst possible way, battling illness and abuse at the same time. This storyline could really resonate with viewers. It's raw, it's real, and it's heartbreaking. So there we have it. 4 storylines that are going to dominate Coronation Street from 6th to 10th October. Asha's desperate actions, Abi's secret finally catching up with her, Tim confronting his past, and Todd facing health fears while living under Theo's control. It's weeks like this that remind me why Corrie has lasted for decades. The show knows how to mix kitchen, sink realism with shocking twists. These stories aren't just for drama. They reflect struggles people deal with in real-life: mental health, betrayal, past trauma, and abusive relationships. That's what makes it hit so hard. I'll be honest, I'm nervous for Asha and Todd, especially. They're carrying storylines that could define their futures. And as for Abi and Tim, well, things might never be the same for them again. If you've got your own theories about how this all plays out, I'd love to hear them. Do you think Kevin will ever forgive Ivy? Will Sally stand by Tim? Can Todd find the strength to leave Theo? Pop your thoughts down in the comments. I'll be reading them. And if you enjoyed chatting through these spoilers with me, don't forget to give the video a like and hit subscribe so you don't miss next week's drama. Corrie never lets us rest, and neither should we. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.